It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Okay, here a question. What about turning your head to employees you know do drugs but are incredible workers? Like, the question being, should you turn your head to it? Or should you put your foot down and do something about it? I've had a couple guys on our team that really clearly were smoking pot before the day started. And I'm not a big pot dude. Clearly I'm not, because I'm just a beer drinking dude. But I don't drink and then go to work, right? Yeah. I go to work and then I have a couple drinks. And so yeah, I think it's very dependent on like what the drug is and when they do it. If they're coming to work fucked up, yeah, that's a problem. If they show up to work and they are drunk or smell like pot, that's a huge problem. Mm-hmm. If you just know that they do shit in their personal time, I don't get into that because it's not my business. What they do on their personal time is up to them, and I'm not gonna like enforce anything about what they're doing on their personal time. But the minute they show up to work under the influence of something, we got a problem, right? Because I've got a whole shitload of liability if they get hurt or hurt somebody on a job. And so there's like a zero tolerance for doing it on the job or showing up fucked up. But if I know that you like your doobies on the weekend, I don't have a problem with that. You do you, man. Like, take your own risks. Don't do it on my time.
Is I don't have a sense of smell, so I literally don't know if Dan's just acting extra Dan today, or if Dan is under influence. And so we've had to have
I feel like you would still even see it on them, right? Like if somebody's fucked up, you can see it in their eyeballs. You can see it in the way they move and the way they act.
And that's me like literally either being naive or just not knowing it well enough. But like I've had guys that I was like, you've got to say something, because here's the problem. You think that you're covering for Dan because you don't want to get Dan in trouble, but if you're aware and then something does happen to Dan, I'm in trouble, you're in trouble, Dan's in trouble, like we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Like that's the big challenge with all that. And and then also we had a guy bring weed on the truck.
That doesn't work out so good.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's no different than Jack Daniels bringing that on the truck. Like, we're going to get royally screwed. And this isn't something that's going to like hurt today. Like, it's going to be years of dealing with that crap.
Yeah.
I will say that too, obviously it is the drugs that they're on. We had a guy before we started doing drug testing that, honestly ended up admitting to heroin.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And it made way more sense when he told us that, like some of the things, like his erratic behavior and a bunch of other things that were going on. And it's like, and that's where like the incredible workers, we had another guy who just loved to just chase tail and drink too much. And sometimes he would get picked up in the mornings and he would have literally just gotten dropped off by whatever tail he had chased the previous night. And, man, working in July and August when you're not hungover, you're still drunk. You're still drunk trying to sober up in 90 degrees and 100% humidity. But the guy could work his butt off, and because somebody else was getting him to work and they were driving and he wasn't. And it kind of amazed me that like this guy's functioning at this, like he's performing, I'll say at this level, not functioning. And you've got other people completely sober, no physical impediments, nothing. And like, dude, you took 3 weeks to learn how to downstream or whatever else it was. Like this guy's like in 3 days was like, well, this is kind of easy. I was like, yes, it is. It really is easy to do. I don't understand why it's so hard for so many people. But this guy also ended up stealing his parents' TV and disappearing in the middle of the night to go several states away. So
you'll get that out of people with really rash behaviors. But I think, Michael, so to me, it just comes down to do you know that they do it personally, or are they doing it and it's the impacts are rolling into the job? Right? I think that is the question for me. Is it impacting the job? Are they fucked up on the job?
Well, and then the reflection it has towards the rest of the staff.
Yeah.
Because they know. And then they know if you're condoning it. And that's what we've had people over the years that like, Dan, you're great, but you show up late 8 minutes every single day. And I can't let these other guys, I need to hold them accountable. And so in order to do that, I have to hold you accountable. So could you please show up on time? You know, like.
Yep. Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.